Ahoy and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. In today's video I have a brand new release to share with you. It is a Swiss made dive watch and I think you're gonna like it, so stick around. Now if you're new here, my name's Gary. I like watches. You're here watching this because you like watches too, and if you haven't done so already, perhaps consider subscribing. Doesn't cost anything, you just have to tap your screen, click of the mouse. You've done it a million times before, and if you do it, I'll be eternally grateful. Right, let's take a look at this new Peren Regia Lunar Eclipse Dark Edition. Now, you might not be familiar with Peren watches. They've been around since 2014. This is a Swiss micro brand. All the watches are made in small batches, hand built in Switzerland, and these watches are built to last. It's in the name, Peren, short for perennial, which means lasting for a long or infinite amount of time. Now, these watches aren't going to last forever, but I think they're going to last a pretty long time. This watch feels well built. It feels solid, dense, heavy. Even the crown action has a really satisfying sort of heavy resistance to it. It's one of the first things I noticed because when I unbox watches, one of the first things I do is wind up the automatic movement if it's housing an automatic movement. And so, yeah, I get to interact with the watch, and yeah, my first impressions were good, but that crown action, well, it sort of set the tone for the watch. Inside this watch, you've got the Sellita SW200, and I don't think it's that's making the crown feel the way it does. I think it's being gripped particularly firmly by a sort of internal grommet. This is, let's not forget, a 200-meter water-resistant dive watch, and yeah, I don't doubt its water resistance capabilities. Doesn't look like a traditional dive watch though, does it? The bezel is very plain. It is quite a unique looking watch. In fact, all of their watches look pretty good, and they share a fairly unique design. What I'm trying to say is, when you look at a Peren watch, you know it's a Peren watch. And I think they're all good looking watches. Like I said already, they're made in small batches, so when they're sold out, they're usually sold out, well, either permanently or for quite a long period of time. This isn't the first Peren Regia to be made. There was an all steel version made a little while ago, but this DLC coated version is new. The packaging is pretty cool, very eco-friendly, and because these watches are made in small batches, each one is numbered. So on the case back, all you've got is a number, 184 on this one. Now I'm going to run through all of these specifications, but before I do that, let me just give you the price. 777 Swiss francs. And for Swiss made watches, that's not too bad at all. Of course, with them being Swiss made, there is automatically a sort of elevated price. Swiss made watches, they're always going to cost a little bit more for what you get when compared to Japanese or Chinese or, any other watch from any other country, because there is that prestige and heritage that comes with a watch that's got Swiss made on the dial. So if you were hoping to pick up one of these for AliExpress money, well, it's just not going to happen, is it? Now, let me run through some of the specifications. The case, it's DLC coated. DLC coating, if you're not familiar with it, is an incredibly hard coating material. Well, it's DLC, stands for diamond-like carbon or diamond-like coating, because diamonds are very, very hard, and this coating is very, very hard. There is a mix of finishing on the case. It's hand finished, this case, so it's a bead blasted case and then sort of hand polished, so those little polished accents are done by hand. You do have a diver's bezel action. The action is 120 clicks, unidirectional, and the bezel action is, it's okay. A bit like the crown, it just feels very dense, very strong. It's not sort of refined and light and clicky. Have a listen. Alignment is perfect, which is great. That marker at the 12 o'clock is loomed. And I should talk about the loom, shouldn't I? Because on the dial, you'll see you've got some 3D loom blocks. How are these made? I'm not entirely sure, but from what I've read, it's a sort of ceramic, luminous material that's bound together with some sort of glue and either cut or molded into these 3D shapes. So you get that luminescent material throughout the blocks. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Very small, these ones, actually. They're not very big. But then the watch is actually not that big. Again, feels dense and heavy, but it's not an oversized dive watch by any means. Sapphire crystal, AR coating, screw down case back, screw down crown, obviously. It's come on a very nice FKM strap. The buckle on the strap is brushed steel. I think that should have been DLC coated. And the date complication at the 12 o'clock, I personally would prefer to see that at the 6 and then have an oversized luminous block at the 12. The date complication just looks a bit feeble. Maybe it would look a little bit better if it was bigger and it had one of these 3D loom blocks framing the circular opening. But yeah, it just looks a bit weak. But overall, yeah, it's an impressive piece. Plenty of originality. I like the way it looks. I like that monochrome look, apart from the buckle, of course. Now on the wrist, I can tell you, yeah, it feels comfortable. I do like FKM rubber straps, and I am a fan of dive watches, smaller than average dive watches as well. And so, yeah, this one, I like it on my wrist. Doesn't look too big for me and my roughly average sized wrist. FKM straps, they're not sticky. They feel very smooth and they mold around your wrist very easily. Unlike those old, cheap, sort of rubbery plastic straps. Does feel like a quality strap and a quality watch. And yeah, overall, I like the way it looks, guys. Now it's time for you to, head down to the comments section on your way down there. If you haven't done it already, subscribe and then let me know what you think of the watch and the video in the comments section. And as always, I really do appreciate you guys sticking around, coming back, watching my videos, sticking around to the end. Yeah, much appreciated. Right, guys, enjoy the rest of your week.